French Dispatch, The King's Man, West Side Story, The Last Duel, The Matrix, Old Dog. I saw 10 films released last year. These films are not them, and so are by default the worst films of all time. Some of these films I do plan on watching, but I was too busy on my phone being a millennial. A moment of silence for the films I never plan on watching. Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil. If this film was a dog, it'd be a beagle, because it's average. Instead of a live-action retelling of the slaughtering of 101 puppies and skinning them, it's a prequel. Cruella even has dog friends here. Emma's Tom Stone do really good acting here, and we finally get Cruella's hair origins. Her white side representing her pure, rich, innocent side, and her black side representing also her pure side. It's a fine Disney film.
What was your name?
I'm the Joker, baby.
An easy bit of fun. Nothing special at all. I can never see a Disney film making it higher than 10 on my list anyway. Encanto was a very encanting movie. As you'd expect, it looks and sounds great thanks to Lin-Manuel Miranda. Professor X harnesses the power of mental manipulation to control his team, including Beast Boy, Poison Ivy, Gwendolyn Christie, and Storm. Mirabella's a squib. She ain't got no magic and is doomed to be the caretaker of Colombian Hogwarts. Admittedly, I don't know anything about Colombian culture. It was captivating to learn about the traditions and superpowers that these families partake in. A good superhero film that has almost no action at all in it. Encanto is a fine film. It took up my time for nothing though. I don't like that. I got no time. No time to die. These Bond films always used to come out on my birthday, and I would go to the premiere and watch them with my dad. And it would ruin my year. No Time to Release is one of my favourite films of 2019. No Time to Write a Decent Plot presents itself in a unique way, because in this film, James Bland goes rogue in this film. It's got a crazy, dark, twisted serial killer vibey dude. I think his name is Remy Malek.
I'm a fan of Freddie Mercury and Queen. I'm a fan of my mom.
He plays the villain, who's pretty stupid. IMDb can't remember the name of this guy. It's amazing that I like this film, because there's so much I hate about it. The whole end sequence is a messy disaster. It's a real best of things you were trying to forget from the last film. But this film has its moments. I came out enjoying it and was glad to see Daniel Craig finally freed from the Broccolis in a movie that's more than the sum of its parts. This film is actually a Netflix adaptation of We Love the Earth by Little Dicky, where celebrities come together and make a lot of money pretending they're saving the Earth. But to be fair, all the profits from this film were donated to adding $3 on your Netflix subscription. It's got every actor, all of them. I checked on google.com/Bing. Every time I see this film talked about online, it gets low on my list. A lot of people think this film is the difference between human extinction and becoming a Type 3 civilization. The film is a not so subtle commentary on politics and corporate greed. I'm not sure Leo and Netflix are in the position to make that joke. It's shot well, written well, and has funny moments, but it still has the air of an inconsequential Netflix movie, one news cycle away from being forgotten entirely. Kingsman 3 Parabellum is a return to form for the franchise, where James Bond relies on suave and majestic references for entertainment. The Kingsman films relies on actually being entertaining. Well-made, designed, and shot sequences remind me of why I don't like James Bond films that much. Ralph Fiennes does a great job cementing his place as the white Samuel L. Jackson, being in every film and knocking an 8.5 out of 10 performance every time. This film opens a lot of room for reinvention and future sequels. I could see a Vietnam Kingsman, some futuristic King's People, or further back for the Cavesman. Great film. A friend of mine is actually in this film, and really let the rest of the team down, ruining the film for me, and so I'm disqualifying it from the list. Yeah, it's pretty good. Lin-Manuel Miranda does it again. Love the set pieces, love the actors and the singing in it. I sat in front of a bunch of really annoying children throwing popcorn and screaming the whole time, pressured by everyone else in the cinema to tell them to shut the fuck up. So I got up, turned around, and moved further away from them like a man. Maybe I should have just told them to commit. The Suicide Squad does everything better and good. It's what happens when you get a good director to do a good movie. Take notes, DC. Oh wait, this is DC. Take notes, Sony. A great cast of characters from Deadshot to Deadshot and even the Hulk. The second sequel in this list to put the in front of it and hope it makes it good. And it works again. The science is proven. And now I just cannot wait for The Last Duel to come out so I can choose not to watch it again. Unfortunately, The Suicide Squad doesn't have the Joker baby and lacks any of my favorite musical mashups at random parts in the film. Being a pseudo sequel to a film with Jared Leto, I am gonna have to knock it down a full letter grade. While the original film is better than this one, it was a lot closer in achieving me ending my own life, which I can only assume was the point of the first Suicide Squad.
Look out. Here comes the Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Man is great. Dare I say alright. The Suicide Squad is a better made film. No Way Home feels very plastic in places and the action doesn't really flow for me. I knew everything going into this film, but it was still insanely hype. The first time I've ever heard people go woo in the cinema. I saw this film 3 weeks after it came out. When the dust settles, I think this is my favourite Spider-Man film since Spider-Man 2 and maybe even better. I'm not going to spoil the fact that I into are in this film. But let's just say that somebody in this film hates Mondays, and somebody else's name rhymes with Schmoby Schmagwire, opening up many possibilities for other movie projects and the MCU. Best of all, give Sony another excuse to try another Spider-Man film by themselves, and we can watch them f*** it up in a new, interesting way. Maybe they'll give Spider-Man cancer, maybe Gwen Stacy will return as a Venom, maybe Aunt May was Jared Leto the whole time. I am a fan of the multiverse, but it needs to be over and done with soon, because I'm already sick of it, and its convoluted rules that allow the writers to do whatever they want. But Spider-Man No Way Home balances it all well. Andrew Garfield and Willem Dafoe steal the show for me. Not that Andrew Garfield is in it. I'm amazed this came out last year, probably because I played both songs non-stop for months. He was my top artist on Spotify Rap, naturally followed by David Bowie and Beyonce. My top song? Bad Guy. My top song last year? Bad Guy. I'm doing alright now, thanks for asking. I don't know how much this counts as a film, but it takes the spot because it's perfect and it's the best thing to come out of the pandemic. Inside is made by a guy who started on YouTube, grew and learned acting, performing, directing and producing. He takes all that and the current situation to make Inside. But also, it is cringe. If you can't buy into Bo or Burnham, then it probably falls flat. I'm sure all his fans have already seen it, and the people who don't like his stuff won't like this. But it is short, so I can go back to watching The Simpsons season 4 to 8 sooner, the best quality something can possess. I'm like 30% confident that this film was made partially because Tick Tick Boom is very close to Tick Tock. This film takes part in the Amazing Spider-Man universe. After the death of Gwen Stacy, Peter leaves home and stops pulling his punches, trying to make it as a musical writer, where he has to fight his most formidable foe yet, the AIDS crisis. I enjoyed this film much more than I think I would. In a very Lin-Miranda Babanda-dominated list, I think this is the best of the bunch. I got a crush on Andrew Garfield this year, who bops hard in this film, and he's starting to win awards from it. Very impressive considering the great performances he's up against, like Jared Leto's Mario from the House of Gucci.
These are just mock-ups.
Mamma mia!
Love the songs, the content, and the pacing. The film really does spark feelings of joy for me. So Netflix are taking spots 2 and 3 on the list, and could challenge for number 1, depending on where The Kissing Booth 3 factors into my list. Netflix is giving money to talented people to make good stuff. A winning formula. Take notes, Netflix. Take notes, YouTube, but Tick Tick Boom is a great film and is my number 1 recommendation from my list if you haven't already seen it. Bonus round. Ted Lasso is the best TV show of the year. If I counted Zack Snyder's Justice League, it would probably be number 6. And The Matrix Resurrections was so good I couldn't bring myself to watch it. Dune is fantastic, and is the best an adaptation could hope to be. Some people have an issue of how much screen time Zendaya got, and I agree, she should have been in the film less, to give way for the rest of the talent that knocks it out the park with every role. My only gripe is I wanted more, and I'd be pleased with a 4 to 5 hour cut. The score is iconic. Hans Zimmer turned down Tenet to do Dune, which oozes passion. Also, Tenet is a mid-film, so bullet dodged Hans, or bullet reverse dodged, moved into, you just gotta think about not being hit by the bullet backwards. For some, the film suffers from not knowing the material, making it really hard to recommend. But do you really need to understand how this political family-based system works in this futuristic sci-fi film set 20,000 years from now when you don't understand how the political family-based system works where you live now? Just sit down and enjoy the amazing visuals and narrative instead of wondering what a Jenny Besserat is. I just hope Denis Villeneuve doesn't get any recognition for this film, so it continues doing great work that makes no money. Some people do claim that this film only exists so people have an excuse to tell you that they read the books, but I actually read the book. So to cap the whole list off, if there's anything I want you to take away from this video, it's that I actually read the book.